Hi, Professor Zimmerman. It's Leanne Trembly doing a quick video walkthrough of my digital badging project that I'll be using this upcoming school year. So the first part of this is that in addition to their regular Google Classroom for class content, my two sections of algebra students will also be enrolled in a digital badge classroom. That's what I'm showing you here, so that all of the digital badging activities are easy to find and separated from other class content like reviews for tests and things like that. So when the students click on the digital badge classroom, it's going to look very similar to their regular Google Classroom. If they go to the classwork tab, then they'll start by seeing this comment that says digital badge menu, start here, and that will take them to their badging menu. So this was created in Google Drawing, and everything that they need for doing their badging activities will show up here. So it's organized in a grid. So the very first part of the grid has a lot of resources to set up their virtual file folder. So if they click the link to the template, this will take them to a virtual file folder, which is going to be their portfolio. And on the cover, it gives them two things to do. They're going to earn their Figure Me Out badge. We're going to do that activity as a class, and then insert an image of themselves or a photo, a drawing, or a video, and then change their name. So there is a video on the badging menu that describes how to make their own copy. So each of these takes my students to a video that I created for them. They can go back and watch at any time. So they have creating the badge folder in Google Drive so that they can store all of their artifacts and their badges, how to create a link to an artifact, which I'll talk about in a minute, how to insert a badge once they get it from their email to their drive, how to save the badge to their drive from their email. And then the last thing is a Google Doc that isn't completely filled out right now, but it's going to be separated into sheets, and each sheet is going to be a unit. So for instance, unit 1 in our class is about solving equations. That's the big idea for the unit. They'll have the opportunity to earn 3 badges. Each badge has a name. It's got a requirement or description of the badge, and then the image of the badge that they would earn if they fulfill that. So they can access the specific task from here through a link, or they can access that through the badge menu. So the very first thing that we're going to do together is something called a Figure Me Out activity. So we will click on that link, and let me zoom in a little bit here so that you can see it. It says create a simple math problem using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division to represent the answer of the question. For the This Is Me portion, use Bitmoji or upload an appropriate photo or drawing of you. This is the badge that they would earn. So they are going to answer basically 9 different questions, my age, and then I gave them a text box because at this point, I don't know that they know how to insert text into a Google document. So I gave them this kind of scaffolding so that all they had to do was click and then edit. My shoe size, so for instance, I wear a size 8 shoe, so maybe for my math problem, I want to do 16 divided by 2 equals, and then it would be somebody else's responsibility to answer that math problem to determine that my shoe size was a size 8, birth month, birth date. In the center, it says see menu for instructions on how to insert an image. So they can refer back to the menu about how to insert an image or a video or drawing of themselves, number of people and family, number of letters in the first name, number of pets I own, and number of states that I've lived in. This is what they are going to do at the beginning of the year to introduce themselves to me. So once they've turned that in and they've submitted that in Google Classroom, then they'll earn that badge. Going back to the menu, the next thing that we have available here is a rubric. So for each set of tasks, there will be a rubric. So for the Unit 1 solving equations, again, split into sheets. So for equations task B, mastery level would earn a color badge, proficient level would earn a black and white badge. They can revise and resubmit. And then if they earn a basic level, they won't receive a badge, but they will receive feedback, which they can use to revise and resubmit in order to earn a proficient or mastery level badge. So in my mind, students can repeat and revise and resubmit as often as they want to get to their goal. So maybe their goal is just to earn a black and white badge for that particular topic. Then they can revise and resubmit and earn that black and white badge. But maybe someone that's a little bit more motivated wants to earn the colored badge. So they may have to revise and resubmit 2 or 3 times before they get to that level of mastery. And then all of these statements refer to the specific task for the badge. They're providing an equation that meets the requirements set forth in the task. Equation's been solved. Each one of those particular things that I'm looking for or assessing is related back to a specific part of the task. If I go back to my digital menu, now that we've gone through resources, introduction, and grading rubrics, then the remainder of the grid will be the specific badging activities. So for Unit 1, I've set up the equations B specific task. So the equations B badge looks like this. And the explanation is the equations B badge asks you to solve multi-step equations with distribution, including an explanation of each step using proper mathematical vocabulary. So it says an example of this type of equation would be, and I provide an example and explain to them that they are not allowed to use that exact example to earn their badge. They are asked to create one of their own. To earn the badge, you must complete the following. Create your own original mathematical equation. You must include, this provides them with a checklist of everything that's required with an explanation of any vocabulary that they might not be familiar with, like coefficient. They're asked to solve the equation that they create in Part 1. They must show all work for each step. Part 3, describe what properties of algebra you're using to complete each step in Part 2. This can be done shown in a variety of ways. So some of the suggestions that I make is that they can write the description next to or along with each step. They can video themselves solving the equation and describing the work as they work through the properties being used. They can video themselves teaching someone else how to solve the equation that they wrote, or if they have another creative idea that they want to try, they can run it past me first and I'll let them know if that's appropriate. Finally, they're instructed to upload their artifact, which is a video, photo, or whatever they created for steps 1 through 3 to the Google Classroom Equations B badge assignment. Be sure to include name in any and all attachments you upload. So if they go back to their Google Classroom, an assignment has been set up that says Equations B badge task. Because I don't have any students enrolled in this particular course yet, this looks a little bit different. Also, it looks a little bit different because it's the teacher site versus the student site, but there would be a way for them to upload attachments. And they've been using Google Classroom. These are 9th graders, so they've been using Google Classroom and submitting assignments since they were in 7th grade. So this is something that they should be very familiar with. It also says, please see the virtual file folder resources on the badging menu if they need assistance. So that link takes them back to the badging menu where they can look at any of these instructional videos if they forget how to upload artifacts. They can refer to the grading rubric. So not only is the rubric in the original badging menu, but it takes them directly there for that specific task within the explanation. And then this is important for me especially. It says, please complete the checkout survey. So by clicking that link, it takes them to a short checkout survey that says, what badge task are you reporting on? What did you like about the badge activity? What did you not like about the activity? What issues did you have with the requirements of the activity? And would you recommend this badge activity to a friend? Is there any way this activity could have been improved? Please share all of your ideas. and then they can submit that, and I will get not only their responses, but it's attached to their email, so that if I see something specific that I want to discuss with them, then I'll be able to tell who submitted those responses. So all of that will be very typical for the task to earn a badge, although the actual activities involved for each badge might be a little bit different. Okay, so another thing that they have access to on this main badging menu is the idea of a community badge. Earn badges by participating in school and community events. Please check the list of options via this link. So if they click that link, it takes them to some things that I have thought of, that I know that my students in the past have participated in. So in this list will grow as students recommend community badges. In general, you'll provide a short written paragraph either on paper or via a shared Google Doc that must be signed by your activity supervisor. So for instance, if I have a student that participates in Boy Scouts, I've asked the student to write a short paragraph describing activities in Boy Scouts. What important lessons have you learned from being in this group? Have your scout leader sign the paragraph. So there's team sports through school, there's sports outside of school, there's community volunteers. So I imagine as the year progresses that we will get some additions to this community badge. And as a student comes up with something that they would like to recommend, there is a link that they can click that will take them to community badge recommendation. So again, this will be tied to an email address from the student so that if I have questions, I can talk to them and get more information. Perhaps if they have somebody that they work with, an advisor, they can provide me with an email address. So this is why they would like to recommend the badge, and or what they would like to recommend, and then why they would like to recommend it. And then again, that will come directly to me. The picture of the badge that they would earn is shown here so that they know what they can expect, and there would be no limit onto how many community badges. And I'd like to be able to edit this badge to reflect exactly the group that they are involved with. Finally, in our menu, we have resources. So I decided to concentrate on the equations B task for this particular video. So that required the use of the distributive property. So if we click that link, it takes them to a YouTube video. There is an ad at the beginning. But once we get through the ad, which we can skip, we can solve equations using the distributive property. And this works through step by step using the same type of vocabulary that I would use in class. So that's the digital badging menu. The other thing which is included in the list of virtual file folder resources is explaining to them how they're going to collect their badges. So this is set up for them, organized by unit, so that as they're earning badges, they can get them in the correct place. So we've already talked about this in this video, and I will share with them a quick example of my digital badge portfolio. I earned my Figure Me Out badge, so I inserted it on my cover. I uploaded an image of myself from Bitmoji, and then I have earned my 3 badges for solving equations. If I click on the first badge, which is badge A, there's nothing attached to that, but I did include my artifact for badge B. So this is the metadata that would accompany each badge. So if I would click on that, then this would be whatever artifact I earned or submitted. It could be a video, it could be photos, screenshots, etc. And then at the bottom, there is a link back to the original requirements to earn each badge. This is also accessible through the digital badging menu. So a lot of the resources that students will need are able to be found in multiple different places, so that if they're in something like this, they can go directly to the task to see what the task looks like, or they can access that task through the original badge menu if they already have an idea of what they're planning on working on.